What's good, everybody? Welcome to the Pull Up Show. My name is BJ Matthews, aka B. Just before we get started, follow us on the YouTube page, the Pull Up Basketball Podcast. Like, share, subscribe. All of our YouTube videos. Hit the notification bell. Hit the subscribe. Hit the share. Hit the Cash App as well. $ BJ Matthews. PayPal at Broderick Masters. You know what I'm saying. Also, if you guys like to have a super comment or super sticker read, go ahead and hit that banner as well. You guys can have a comment read. I'll put that in there, man. Thank y'all for everything that y'all been to the Pull Up Basketball Podcast. You know what I'm saying? Let's get it popping. All right, man. Top of the Thursday morning with y'all, man. Hope everybody's having a blessed morning so far. We got to talk a little bit about last night. So it seems as if many people are saying that, the Nuggets are going to win this series decisively in 5 games or whatever, 6 games maybe. But coming into the series, the Nuggets had, the upper hand, surprisingly, because, for the most part, the Nuggets feel like they've been, overlooked, which they kind of have in a way against certain teams in the past. Like, the Lakers in the last round, the Clippers back in the bubble when they blew the 3-1 lead, and everybody said the Clippers blew it instead of giving the Nuggets credit. The Jazz, the same thing in the same bubble, just around before the Clippers, blew a 3-1 lead. So it's always been Denver has had, when they win, it's always something attached to it, right? It's always like, oh, this happened because this happened. I mean, it's nothing to really look too much deep into. The Denver's they're not really all that. They're just good in the season. Now, of course, even me, I have my sentiments that Denver, have been proven as a season team because that's all we've been seeing the last couple of years, even though they're missing Jamal Murray, which I'm going to talk a little bit about that later today. I'm going to have another video about Jamal Murray that you guys want to, tap into. Because it's going into a lot of stuff that I don't think a lot of people are looking into when it comes to this guy. But nonetheless, the Nuggets have been overlooked over the last 2-3 seasons, and they feel like they haven't gotten the credit they deserve. So, the thing is that people always get into, very, very quickly. They get a chance of writing a team off way too soon. Let me explain something when it comes to the league and the NBA. The amount of it doesn't matter really about other than, the players that step on the court. It's a game by game situation, right? Now, I understand as fans, what I'm saying, when somebody wins a game, it's like, oh, well, look at that. They won a game by 15 points or they won a game by so-and-so points. They proved themselves to win the series. Oh, it's over, BJ. They're in trouble. It's natural for fans to think like that. It's natural for viewers to think like that. You know what I mean? And if I didn't play basketball, I would probably think the same way. Like, oh, yeah, this series is over. This series is not going nowhere. This is going to be something very, done very quick. I told you, Miami's a mid team. They're not as good as they should be, right? All right, y'all excuse me. I had a call coming in. Now, look, Miami and Denver both have been teams that's been overlooked over the last, over the last, 3-4 years. I mean, especially Miami. I've told y'all this before. Miami is the only team who's been to as many conference finals and NBA finals out of anybody else in the NBA. They've been to more conference finals and NBA finals over anyone in the last 4 seasons. That includes Boston. That includes Denver. That includes the Lakers, Philly, Milwaukee. They've been to more conference finals and NBA finals combined than any of those teams. They've been to 3 conference finals and now 2 NBA finals in the last 4 seasons. Now, people don't look at that and pay attention. They just constantly see it every single year, and they don't really, blink an eye. You know why? Because nobody really takes time to watch Miami, right? And shout out to my uncle Big Tone for saying this. He said that Miami doesn't get the respect. They're the most disrespected team in the NBA. Now, I can attest to that, right? I've told y'all, I don't just watch my team. I don't just watch one team. I watch the entire league. I don't just watch, one team in the NBA. I want to watch everybody. I have to, because I have a podcast. I have a obligation to y'all to give y'all the content for. And there's teams all on my podcast, fans of different teams, Celtics, Lakers, Warriors, Clippers, Bucks. You know what I'm saying? Heat. It's fans of different teams all on my podcast. So I have to be up to date and up to game on everything. And like I said, Miami, I said they remind me a lot of the Clippers. I see the same makeup, the same things, both positive and negative they do. Positively, they have a team that's full of warriors that does not quit, that they're going to play hard to the last buzzard. They have a team that's built off of, grit. They've had success, as a team. I've compared some of their players to the players of the Clippers. I compared Jimmy Butler to Kawhi Leonard, even though he's not as good, right? He reminds me of Kawhi Leonard. I've compared Eric Spoelstra and Ty Lue as far as their coaching habits, both good and bad, where Coach Ty Lue and Spoelstra do a lot of it. They do adjustments in the playoffs, but it takes them a little bit of time to do the adjustments. And they stick with what they have, been going with throughout the remainder of the regular season. They don't really change things up. That's one of the negatives they have. They're very stubborn. Right, there's a lot of similarities between the Heat and the Clippers. Where I know I'm watching. I'm telling y'all right now, this series is far from over. This series is far from over. Jimmy Butler had a quote last night. Shout out to my man Thomas Talented for putting this out there, man. Get my shine on, you guys. He's always on the panel on Saturdays and Sunday mornings. So make sure y'all, I'm giving him credit for this. He sent me this morning through IG. He said the Heat now trail the series 2-1. This is what Jimmy Butler had to say with Circle. He said, "I don't know," Butler said when asked why the energy was lacking. "I can't answer that. Maybe we're at home. We think we did something. I don't know. It just can't happen. It won't happen again. It starts with myself. I have to lock in on the defensive end. I have to go up and get loose balls. I think if I start playing better and doing that, then everybody else has to follow suit." Now, y'all, what have I been saying all along this whole series about Jimmy Butler? What have I been saying? Go back into my last lives, and what I've been saying about Jimmy Butler, what he needs to be doing. Did I not say that it comes to a point where Jimmy Butler has to know and control the game, when to give his teammates the ball and be unselfish, and when to be that aggressive. He has to make the actual counterbalance between the two. Now, last night, looking at his numbers and watching his play, you can see, okay, well, he had 28 points, I believe. Let me pull this up so I can get this right for y'all. Yeah, he had 28 points and shot 11 or 24 from the field, played 40 minutes, hit 1 out of 4 threes. I mean, Jimmy's not a great three-point shooter. Right? So if you look at the stat sheets, he had a, above average game as far as, what he brought. But the problem is that there were some of them were non-impactful. Some of them were when the game was pretty much out of reach and he didn't control the game from the start. Y'all seen what Jamal Murray did from the start. I mean, the man had 20 points in the first half. And it was well before the first half. It wasn't he had to go to the final, but he had that well before the first half. The Nuggets went back to making him the scorer. And I told y'all that Jamal Murray's going to take the challenge of who's guarding, which is Jimmy Butler. When they saw that Jamal Murray was, getting his way in the first quarter, they took Jimmy Butler and put Caleb Martin on him. So that's why I said the adjustment had to be for Denver. That's what happened. So Jimmy Butler, the Nuggets all around just, took control of the game early. But here's the crazy part. That's why I said the series is far from over. The Heat were still in the game, and they actually put their force in early. The only person that was really doing damage was Jamal Murray. That was it. They started off with him, and then here comes Jokic, getting his, regular triple-double rebounds, and, he was getting a couple assists, but it was Jamal Murray had his foot on the gas, and Miami was still leading in the first quarter, right? And then the second quarter they down 52-48. So, okay, I was like, they got, now they can try to pull away. I said they should have pulled away earlier than that. So I think the score at one point is 33-39. I said they need to pull away. Denver does not look like they're that confident outside of Jamal. So when they're second guessing them, so that's when you gotta punch them in the mouth. And reading that quote, what Jimmy Butler just said made a lot of sense. He said, I can't. I said why the energy was lacking. I can't answer that. Maybe we're at home. We did think we did something. I don't know. Right there, he said maybe we're at home. We think we did something. That's another thing about the Clippers. I'm telling you, they're just like the Clippers. Y'all don't know how many times I've thrown my remote at the TV because of how the Clippers would play at home, vice versa the road. When they had all the momentum at home, when they had um all the prestige, they had everything going for them to win a home game. They, for whatever reason, either get blown out or they lose a close game to a team they should not have lost to. Y'all know how many times that happened to the Clippers this year, to the point where Paul George came on a post-game press conference and said he doesn't know why they like that. They like they like the challenge of always coming back and fighting. That's how they, but that's the thing, that warrior spirit wears on you to the point where, yeah, if it works out, great, but if it doesn't, it looks like, man, these guys are just like hard-headed. When you have an opportunity to punch a team in the mouth, you got to punch them in the mouth. What Jimmy Butler's saying is that when they won game 2, they feel they're very confident about what they are. But this is why I say once again, I said the leadership. You go as your leader goes. One thing about Jimmy Butler that I'm seeing more and more every round is that he's doing a lot of talking. He's gonna do something that's different from Kawhi. Kawhi doesn't talk. He doesn't say and voice after every game or every situation they lose that he has to try to talk himself into like helping his team up. If you want to do that, I think it's best that you do that in the locker room, not in front of the press conference. At least just make it where you answer the questions, you make it known what's going on, but then you ain't gotta voice every game. Okay, well, we won't do it again, or we will do this, we will do that, because if you don't get it done, then it's gonna make you look very silly. So if the Miami Heat got arrogant, or if they got above their head, whatever, it's because look how their leader is talking after every single game, and you don't know how that might make Denver feel. That might up their game and up their energy. That's what I think happened. I think Jamal Murray was hearing the noise about how Jimmy Butler shut him down, and he actually took that to heart and actually went off on in the start of game 3. That's why he played the way he played early on from the stretch. And I told y'all I think right before the game, I told y'all Jamal Murray did not look rattled. As far as, after like in the, after the game, he said to himself, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's the same approach, and, we're not, it's going to be the same, method. I'm going to come the same way. So that's a person that's confident. You can just tell by, watching them play. So you have that on your hands, and you have, Nikola Jokic, who just, like I said, just controls the stat sheet throughout the whole game, throughout the entirety of the game. That's just what he does. That's just who he is, bro. Like, I mean, like I said, I'm gonna make a video about Jamal Murray and Nikola Jokic later on today. Well, actually, it'll be dropped today because it's already made. But yeah, this is something where, as far as the series goes, it's far from over, because I know how the Miami Heat are. I've already said this. I said this last night. I said there's no way the Miami Heat, get to this point and just end up getting beat, gentlemen swept 5-1 or 4-1. There's no way that happens. There's no way they go through a 7-game series where they almost lost the series playing with their food to the Boston Celtics, and then game 7 they blow them out in game 7. You know what I'm saying? To get to the NBA Finals. There's no way that they go through that. There's no way that they have, you know what I'm saying, go through the Boston Celtics last year and lost on a last-second shot. Right? There's no way that they go through all these different situations and wars and just come out and get gentlemen swept to a team that's never been to the finals before. I mean, I'm not disrespecting Denver, but there's been teams that's done more than Denver who've taken them to lengths that they've taken to, and still they've came out on top and victorious. So I already know what I'm looking at. I'm not going to even say nothing about Miami, but I'm going to say is this: if things are supposed to be in their favor, they tend to lose it. But if things are against them, if their backs are against the wall, then they seem to surprise the hell out of you. Because like I said, when game 7 happened in Boston, you had a lot of people saying that they were going to lose this series. And I told many people, I said, they're not losing this series. They're ultra confident. They're not losing this series because they have too much pride. But then pride comes with arrogance too. Like that's another thing that comes with arrogance. Eric Spoelstra, I think he's one of the top three best coaches in the league, but I think he's sometimes too smart for his own good because he chooses to be stubborn to the point where I don't think if people even told him what he needs to do, he wouldn't even do it. That's just who he is, bro. So, like I said, I'm gonna say this again. That this series is far from over. As a matter of fact, to me, it's just getting started. We're not getting started because Denver won last night, but I think now Miami's looking at it like, okay, we're going to turn up in Game 4, and then once they do that, then it's like, okay, the best of three. Now, this is where things get interesting because you know I'm just going by Miami's makeup. Because if you look at Denver, as much people keep saying Miami's inconsistent, so is Denver, and I think Denver to a point does not want to deal with Miami's physical play as far as the guards position. Like, yeah, Christian Brown came in yesterday. He took on that role. And I think they found something with him. But I don't. Their three best players, which is Jokic, which is Jamal, and supposedly Michael Porter Jr. Supposedly, but he's not giving them nothing. Supposedly, those are the three most talented. I'm gonna say they're most talented players. They're not very gritty on the defensive end. I think Jamal does it in spurts, but he's focused on putting that ball in that basket. So I don't really think they want to deal with all that physical. I think they rely more on Aaron Gordon, KCP, and now this dude Christian Brown to be more physical and hustle. So people got to take a step back and understand like this is a best of seven series, not a best of three. This is a best of seven. The first of 4 games wins, not the best of not the person that wins one or two. I had so many people hitting me up, and this is another thing people got. Stop coming around when your team wins or the team that you picked wins. You know what I'm saying? Just don't come on here and say, "Well, yeah, bro, I told you, yeah, they should have won that game." Um, don't come here saying all that, bro. Hey, y'all get on my nerves, bro. Like y'all always coming around when your team wins and act like y'all the prophet and say, "Oh yeah, bro, I told you Denver was gonna overpower Miami." I mean, I'm sorry. I thought this is a best of seven series, not a best of three. But Miami, they're going to have to, what I'm saying, turn up in Game 4, and I think they will, just based off my opinion, what they do and how I know them. Because there was a good chance that Denver was going to win last night because of that's just like I said. I think Denver's built where they're very like they have a lot of they got players on that team as far as Jamal Murray who have that competitiveness edge where if he hears something like this, like Jamal shut him down, he's gonna take that challenge, right? So that's why I think okay, yeah, Denver's probably gonna win Game 3, but that's why I say in Game 4 because everybody's going back to Denver's bandwagon. Miami's looking at that like, all right, cool. These dudes think the series is done. We're gonna show them in Game 4. So expect Miami to come out with force in Game 4, man. Expect that. All right. Pull up a seat, pull up a chair, put it live. Peace. Out of here like swimwear.